Backstage on the Super Legit podcast with special guest Shaun Landry.
Oh, real quick, have
Yes.
we talked with Shaun about our edit process?
Yes,
As
she
far as,
understands the hand and the legit and the fact that we can use the chat field for notes and so on and so forth. So
wait,
I think
run by that again. The hand and chat and what's going on?
Shut up, loser. You stop it.
This is being recorded?
already too.
We're in Los Angeles? What's happening?
What's a podcast?
Who are you?
I thought this was radio.
Who are these tiny people in my computer?
Again, I'm a ghost.
Over the holiday, my mother was in town and we played a game one of the days she was here, and in the middle of the game, just game conversation, something about like ancestry came up, and then she was trying to say how she wanted to use one of the various ancestry investigation options, like DNA options, and she no shit said, "What? I'm really interested in that 47 and you, 49 and us,
23 and me."
Nowhere close. She got nowhere close on the number nor the
I
pronoun.
love it.
I like you too.
One of my favorite moments from my mom, or actually from a family member, was talking about Blink 194. And I literally turned to my sister and I said, "It's okay, you're black."
Welcome back to another episode of the Super Legit Podcast. I am surrounded yet again with so many of my favorite people. I did want to get a little bit of business out of the way first. It's kind of a personal thing, a little like a mini mea culpa here, because we have running gags, we have running bits on the show, and sometimes, people's feelings get stepped on a little bit. And Michael Heiman has been our co-host for a while now, who's doing a fantastic job of it. First of all, I just want to say that you deserve all the credit for that. And occasionally when Michael Heiman's not here, we have someone else sit in as a co-host on his behalf. And you can tell Josh Spence really, really, really would love to be that sit-in co-host. And we always give the role to someone else. And so Heiman, I wanted to, for this episode, if you don't mind, can we give Josh Spence the role of co-host for just this episode? Is everybody okay with that? Do you all feel good about that? Just help him out with this one?
Oh, yeah.
I don't care.
Let's do it.
Cool. That's
Great,
cool.
great.
Unanimous.
Okay. So Josh Spence, you are the co-host for this week's episode. Now, another quick note, Josh Spence could not make it this week, so we will need Michael Heiman to fill in on his behalf.
I'm happy to do it,
Great.
Comes full circle.
Great. All right.
I've always called you the Josh Spence of Michael Heiman's.
That is such an honor.
I concur with the man who just said that.
Oh, listen with that
Oh.
voice.
Oh.
Segue. Here we
Ooh.
go. That was the voice of our guest this week, Shaun Landry. Hello, Shaun.
Well, hello, my man. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful.
Good.
Again, as I said, I'm surrounded by people I love, including you.
Duh. When was the last time my husband said he loved me? Oh, and I have to hear from you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, hi. No, he does say I love you on a constant basis. Just
I see
quietly in his sleep when I poke him and say it.
We're all collectively wiping a nervous sweat from our brows here.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, that's just LA winter. Yeah.
seriously. But
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, good. Good. Well, yeah. Thank you. So Shaun is just an incredibly valued member of our local community.
Duh.
Comedy. She's an amazing, talented improviser. She and her husband Hans have an incredible team, Landry and Summers, that we they're a blast to watch. Comedy writers, writers in general. What else? What else do you do that just makes
I
you
juggle.
really?
Yeah, I can juggle. And
Girl, who doesn't these days?
damn, see, that's what I'm saying. Because
Gig economy.
I do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I will also say, I have known Shaun Landry for 10 years, And I know that Shaun is an amazing cook. And I don't think I've ever
heard
gotten
this.
to have her cooking.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's very few. If the world was good to me, I would have an improv cooking show. So basically, it would be on the Food Network. It would be give me a protein, give me a vegetable, and give me a spice, and then I
suggestions
and a
from
suggestion.
the audience.
So and a suggestion on what to do with it. And then I would cook it. And while I'm cooking, there would be improv going on the side while I'm cooking and prepping. So it'd be like a cooking Armando.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I can't wait for us to do this at your theater.
Have you pitched this? Dude, this is brilliant.
Yeah. Have you seen the Ramsey's newest show, the Next Level Chef? It's 3 levels of
bullshit
of kitchens.
It's like 3D chess kitchen.
Levels of bullshit.
It's a kitchen cast system.
It is. But the bottom kitchen that's supposed to be like the worst kitchen is basically every kitchen in America. It's fucking insulting.
You don't get me started about him on TikTok. So you see this asshole on TikTok, right? And when he's not doing his shtick, which is a shtick of him being an ass, he's on TikTok and he literally gets on and does a duet with other people's shitty cooking and makes fun of it. So now everyone on TikTok, I used to cook on TikTok. I don't anymore because the real chefs have taken over. Oh. He goes onto other people's TikToks. People now just tag him. So they could make fun of their cooking.
To come critique their work.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, this is TikTok is ruined for all the, mini chefs.
I would love to talk about social networking and what a cancer it is, but this isn't a party that I'm boring everyone at. But I will say that is a feeling that I get where it's like social networking was for the people, and now the famous people have taken over and are like, hey, remember that thing that you used to use? Yep. Now we are going to take it over, and now everybody's just going to look at us.
Yeah, remember when it was cool and now Will Smith is here?
Was that a common phrase in LA parties in like the early aughts?
Party until Will Smith arrived.
What was his like drought season where it was just like stinker
Pursuit
after
of Happiness,
stinker?
roughly around that time.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
To
7 pounds.
Maybe have it wrong, but wasn't Will Smith cool once upon a time?
Yeah.
Very cool.
And here's the story. I was in Pursuit of Happiness. I was in Pursuit of Happiness so much that I was like Will Smith's ghost.
Which was a plot line. I can't believe they cut it.
I swear to God. But here's my favorite part of that whole story was we were in the food kitchen of Pursuit of Happiness in San Francisco. So I'm like, this is extra fucking work. There were actual real homeless people in there. They actually hired and paid them, and it was very cool. Oh. So I'm just like pushing homeless people in front of me. I'm like, I want to be in the back. Someone give me a boombox. I don't want to be seen. I just want to get paid. And the director took a goddamn shine to me because he was hitting up on my ass. And I get into the food kitchen. I'm way in the back, and they're like, we need a woman to come up to the front and sit in the food kitchen. And I'm just like pointing to the like, here, the director picked me. I'm sitting across from Smith and his son, who was a baby at this point, like baby Jaden.
Yeah.
Damn cute kid until he grew up. And I'm sitting across from him, and I'm not looking at him. Meanwhile, the director was like, so are you having a good time? Some Italian director, so are you having a good time? And I'm just like, yes, sir. Trying to eat my food, eat the fucking Thanksgiving food. And he keeps hitting up on me. And I'm just like, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. I'm just being nice. I'm like, just, yes, sir. And Will Smith takes a look at me because he's literally across the table, right across from me. And he goes, hey, what's your face? How's your wife?
This is how we humans talk.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, and he walks away, and Will Smith looks at me and he gives me that, brother nod, like, you're welcome. And I literally just mouthed the words, thank you.
Yep.
So, ergo, in conclusion, I have all the respect and ups for Will Smith because nicest brother in the world. Plus, also that movie paid for my damn Christmas. Horrible movie, but it paid for my Christmas. And if you watch it and you watch that scene, you will see my fat ass head scan across the screen to Will. It's so surreal.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
He's great in King Richard, and King Richard is
that movie
I've heard
really good
amazing
movie.
things.
I agree.
overall.
I concur.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. So, Shaun, I know you are working very hard, and I know this is something that Steve James is also involved in opening a new theater in our incredibly droughty, is that a word?
It is now.
Comedy landscape.
Drought stricken.
Yes, drought stricken. Thank you. See, this is why you're my co-host. Michael Heiman.
So I'm here.
That's how the proper climate term when it's smoky out in California now.
It's droughty.
Droughty?
Like aggressive. Yeah, it's just droughty.
It's droughty. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. So tell us about the Ledge Theater, Shaun. What's this project?
It is a theater that hopefully will be a project that lasts forever. But then again, it's theater, so who knows?
We thought a lot of them were going to last forever a couple of years ago.
Exactly. We have taken the Lyric Hyperion hostage.
Nice.
And we are using that space, which is, I like that space because it's standalone.
Yes.
Nobody bothers our black asses. When we do, we can make as much noise as we want.
Yeah.
Excellent space. Really nice people who took it over. And it is about diverse voices in improv comedy and sketch and theater, both scripted, dance, music, storytelling. It's not just improv.
Oh, great.
It's not just improv. It's improv thrust with a thrust to people of color, the LGBTQIA plus community. I mean, the white folks who are here, y'all can play too.
Aww.
That's a huge thing. Like theater alone is not all that diverse. And especially in improv, when I started in improv, diversity meant you had doughy white guys from Chicago and doughy white guys from Detroit, but it's now a lot different. Diversity means a little different now.
Well, I mean, Boozer, we kind of started at the same time. I started a little bit before you. In my world, it was, Shaun's on the team, it's diverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
like, I was the diversity, yes.
Yeah,
me too.
I think I'm going to have a new one-woman show. Yeah, for the three of us who are here. This is now officially diverse. This is actually a diverse podcast because there's 3 African Americans on this podcast.
We made it, guys.
Yeah,
we did it. You have 2 more women and somebody who's Latinx and someone who is Asian from Asian AF, and we're all good.
We're working on it.
Nice. That's what these are the things I need to hear. This is why the Ledge exists.
Yes.
So, also I want to have this man who is on this podcast right now, Stephen, be our educational director because he actually works with children in school. I want to have more children of color doing improvisation.
Still don't know how he manages to work with children. I don't understand how anyone does, but thank you, Stephen, for being one of the ones who does. Cool.
Yeah, the COVID farm, as we like to call it now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and our fundraiser happens on MLK Junior Day.
Nice.
And I am just, people just coming up and representing, like all of a sudden, it was Francis Collier who was like, "Can we bring in Boozer?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I hate him." Yeah,
I hear that all the time.
That is literally the conversation we had in our chat room when we asked about him joining the cast. Was Josh was like, "What about Boozer?" I was like, "Nope, can't stand him. Won't have him on the team." Yes, please have him join right now.
Like,
that's traditionally how we start every episode of the podcast.
I'm like, Collier, are you high? Green Boozer Elixir also playing with y'all too? Yeah, no, Legends. I don't want that in my life.
Yeah.
I don't want awesome in my life. You're welcome. But so they're playing, and the team formerly known as White Women is playing.
Nice.
Oh, I love them.
The big team is up, and Asian AF is playing.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with that. And Landry and Summers, we're going to do a set. Color Collective is doing a video for us, which is kind of cool. Who else? Oh, and Tuskegee Experiment is coming back.
That's so great.
And then Shaun, is this going to be available after the fundraiser for people to buy a video ticket to and then watch
Yes.
after the fundraiser?
Yeah, they can do that now, because if they pay $15, they get 2 options. I actually put all that up online today, Mr. James.
Great.
Basically, if you buy a $15 ticket, you have the option of coming to see us live, which I prefer you don't. Nasty COVID.
Yeah, right now, absolutely.
You Omicron freaks. So there's all
That's the other
sorts.
team.
Omicron. That's also the name of my new one-woman show. It's a musical. And but I basically said, if you wish to come, you need to be triple vaxxed. You need to have an N95 or a K95 mask. You have to keep it on, and you have to have a temperature check when you come in. But if you don't want to go through that rigmarole, you can send us an email with your $15, and there's a private YouTube link that people can go and watch on the day of.
Very cool.
Which will then go live on the Pack Theater's YouTube. A Pack Theater. I love you. I still work for them. For the Ledge Theaters.
The Ledge Theater.
Hey, maybe they'll be generous
Theaters.
and also host it on their YouTube now that you've put them up to it.
Yeah. But YouTube, Twitch, IG, and also on my professional site too.
We'll make sure that there
On
are
LinkedIn.
links in the show notes for the podcast, so all of our listeners can easily track down exactly what you're talking about, because this will go live after the date of the fundraiser.
Fundraiser.
Fundraiser,
And
yes.
It's the Maya Angelou and the fundraiser.
still
And
these
then we
funds
rise. And this too shall rise.
Yes.
All right.
So yeah, and we'll mention it again at the end of the show. Hey there, just a quick cut in from Jet of the Future to let you know that the Ledge Theater show has currently been moved to February 18th of 2022, but your best bet is to check the Ledge Theater website for updates, because who knows, that could change as well. So again, links will be in the show notes. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be a good one. It will definitely be available online, probably more virtual than planned, so that everyone can see it and be safe in the process. All right, back to the show. Obviously, we have members of our team directly involved in this. This is our direct community, and this is pretty vital for everybody. And I really do mean that for everybody. I've talked about this before. I mean, on a purely selfish level, I would rather watch entertainment that isn't about people who look like me and act like me and have my history, because that's not interesting to me.
That's interesting, because I find it fascinating to me, because it's not my history.
Well, and see Well, and see, there's the difference exactly is all of the media has been about me for so long that's just like, that's what I get to see all the time. So now I finally have the opportunity to have more than just that. And so that is exactly the reverse perspective, is because, you're coming at it like it's nice to finally see myself.
Yeah, it's nice to, well, I mean, considering I've been doing this particular thing pretty much all alone until I started Weeby Negroes since 84. I'm old. I'm old AF, man. That's why I started the Seniors Improv. I'm just like, hey, I'm still relevant.
Also worth checking out, yes.
Relevant.
I know a few people on that team. Super fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's different voices. It's important. It's vital. It always has been. It just took a while for people to fucking realize that. That's all.
Yeah.
It took a bit. At least I'm still alive to see it.
Yes.
So it would really suck to die.
Is that the bar, Shaun?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If I die and then racism is over, I'm gonna be really pissed. I'm like, I miss
right as you're fading away.
Exactly. I'd be the same way. Like, I've been black this whole time, and we could have done that.
Yeah. Right.
Ooh. This is some bullshit.
Dad?
What do you mean? Everyone's getting along now.
Well, yeah.
I got chased by German shepherds and sprayed with a fucking fire hose.
I was invited to Gary, Indiana without a problem whatsoever.
Oh, come on. I died right before it all happened.
Yeah, the moment we put you in the ground in your casket, then there was a big world addendum that was sent out to everybody. And it said, peace on earth, unless you want to die. So there are some, it's peaceful because people are afraid of being racist. So it works out well. But God, you look great for a ghost.
I mean,
you picked
it's
35,
fine.
didn't
I got to pick my 19-year-old body, which is a little bit weird, but it was when I was at my healthiest. It was during the war. Sweetheart, what about all the other isms that we hated? What about misogyny? Is that still a thing, or did we get rid of that too?
Everything's gone. There's no isms. It's just like a John Lennon song.
Oh,
you missed out on a life of a John Lennon song.
Come on! What a load of crap!
I'm sorry, but Dad, you look fantastic as a ghost. I just can't wait to die because if I get to choose exactly how I look, definitely I'm going for 17.
Thank God!
You know, I thought this would be cool, living on a yellow submarine.
Yeah.
But it seems very isolating. It's just us.
It
seems peaceful to me.
I don't really. It's like of all the songs that were gonna come true, it's why this one?
You guys
Did it have to be one that Ringo sang?
Oh,
yeah,
you guys are just looking at this wrong. How can you not love yellow? It's such a bright, cheery color.
We don't see that. We're on the inside of the submarine. It's freaking olive drab in here.
Can't you
I'm
just
sure
visualize?
It's all fucking Octopus's Gardens out there, but we're stuck in here.
Yeah.
This is just your mindset speaking. You got to think about it. You got to want to be happy.
I want to see Lucy in the sky with diamonds, but I can't because we're underwater in this damn submarine.
Well, meanwhile, I want to do it in the road. I mean, no one's going to be watching us.
Well, we didn't get that song. We got the Yellow Submarine song, so nobody's doing it anywhere. We're just stuck in here. That's it.
I was given the option
story.
of digging a pony, and I didn't even understand what that meant.
It could be so much worse, guys. I heard about a guy who got stuck in a Paul McCartney song, but it was simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So, I want 4 orders of fries, 2 small shakes.
4 fries, 2 shakes.
And world peace, please.
World peace?
Yes, world peace, please. Did you get that right?
We got world peace on the menu?
Well,
We're all out of world peace.
Oh,
it says
we just ran out. You can have peace in just like a local area, Los Angeles or Chicago, just an island. But we're all out of global world peace right now.
I really don't understand because your whole logo thing is have it your way and this is the way I want it.
I know. There's a whole asterisk at the end of that, which is have it your way, the way that you want it. And then the asterisk's really small at the bottom, and it says, unless we're out.
But we totally got your 4 fries, 2 shakes for real.
Okay.
You guys don't think have it your way just like leaves it open for interpretation too much?
No.
Well, okay. All right. What's it? Give me the craziest order you got. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Have it your way. What are you gonna order?
I want, I don't know, 2 shakes, 2 fries, and world peace.
Okay.
Put it on the menu. Yeah.
Yeah. Put it on the menu. World peace.
Yeah. We got this covered. Look, come on. You really think we're a giant multinational corporation here? We can give people anything they want. Anything.
I'm just saying our competition just kind of Italian. They just threw some Italian flair on there and then I'm loving it. There's not a lot for interpretation in there is what I'm saying. I'm just saying we should keep up with the competition.
You're saying we should lower ourselves to the standard of our competition. What happened to reaching a higher?
We are Burger King, okay? We're not the Burger Deputy Mayor.
You're right.
We are the top. Until a burger empire arises and absorbs us into another bunch of burger countries, we are the top that you can be.
I mean, maybe if there was a burger god, but we're an atheist organization. So
that's true.
Oh my! I was having a nightmare. I was.
Which one?
I was having a nightmare.
Was it the one about your accent?
No, that one comes and goes, much like the accent itself.
Cole's accent goes?
Anyway,
hey guys, it's me, Paul McCartney. What's going on over here?
Legit.
We never found out what he wanted.
No. And we never will.
Beautiful.
And that was actually, if you watch that Beatles documentary, that was
good.
Paul's nightmare, that they wouldn't take the time to listen to his song ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
well done.
Mhm,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Paul just loved going in there and like just talking about his dreams for like 45 minutes. And oh yeah, he's
It's
one of
almost
those guys.
8 hours, but it is fantastic.
Wait,
It is
wait.
worth
I just because I'm a big Beatles fan. Let me just get this straight, Stephen. Paul McCartney bitched about not getting any of his songs possibly done.
I'm
McCarthy.
totally,
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
kidding
totally
me?
full of shit.
Yeah,
I'm totally full of
I'm
shit.
just making because I have
yes.
not watched this, and if I did not see him bitching,
yeah.
then I would come.
'Cause-
I am that monster,
Because
Stephen.
that's almost literally what happens with George
I will
Harrison
find
in
you
it.
and kill
Is
you.
George
Yeah.
Harrison doesn't get his shit respected at all for
Oh,
quite some time through that
man.
special. Like it's worth watching. I highly recommend Get Back on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I have to get Disney Plus. I really hate the evil mouse, but I got
There's
Hamilton,
such good content.
Well,
yeah.
and now
I
I'm
will
going
say
to the
this.
Beatles.
There are many people who is this being recorded? Because
Yep.
there are many people, Sean, who I like a lot less than you who have my Disney Plus password. So we'll chat offline. We'll chat offline.
Right.
Yeah.
You,
As a matter of fact,
again, you're becoming sexy and sexier, Mr. James.
With each passing password.
Exactly.
Now, this actually, this subject is kind of a good segue into our episode question this week, which is starting a little late in the show, but there's never such a thing as too late. So our question this week is, what embarrassing piece of pop culture changed your life? And feel free to fudge pop culture. Feel free to fudge embarrassing. Feel free to fudge how big of a change it was. But what does that mean to you?
feel free to talk about the book Super Fudge.
Yes.
Yes.
Changed
Let's
my
do
life.
it. Yeah, I bet
Going on
that's
the
changed
list.
a lot of lives. Yeah. So who's got something? Let's
The Monkeys movie Head.
Oh.
Has anyone seen this movie?
I have
The
not.
monkeys,
have
like
not.
It is
like
the
the
band,
monkeys
right?
band.
Like, hey,
No,
we're the monkeys.
The Monkeys band.
Hey,
Mike
we're the
Nesmith.
monkeys.
Yeah.
That's like their
Big
magical
monkey
mystery
around.
tour.
It's their magical
Don't get a
mystery
seat,
tour,
Chris.
and it's
Right.
directed by Jack Nicholson.
What?
Wow.
And
That's so cool.
What?
And if you watch this movie, basically all the guys from Easy Rider are in it. So Dennis Hopper is in it. It is the first thing that it was one of the first movies I got stoned to, and Frank Zappa is in this movie.
Oh my God.
So it's
Hold on just one second. Just as she's saying this, everybody is stunned except St. James, who's nodding his head. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
I'm
familiar
a
with this.
trivia nerd. I know I've never seen this movie, but I know everything about this movie. It's a total acid trip, right?
Yes.
It's a crazy film that's all over the place. And so I know about this movie, but I haven't seen it because I haven't been able to get a hold of it.
Yeah,
well,
I've
you
never
need to
even
come
heard
over
of
to the house, Mr. James, and watch it. Because there's basically the two movies that I kept, literally Laurie Anderson's Home of the Brave and the Monkeys movie Head, because this movie is so surreal. Also, it has some of the most graphic images of Vietnam that you will ever see. You can find some of these clips on YouTube, by the way. But I remember watching it. This is something that I remember watching it getting stoned with a bunch of my friends who were in Geese Company. And I remember saying, when I saw the Vietnam thing, I said, this is something that I will remember for the rest of my life. And it basically changed how I thought about indie movies, about the Beatles, about the Monkeys, because some of the songs you can get the soundtrack of Head are actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm like, who knew?
Wow.
Who knew that they weren't a all-boy 60s band? I mean, it's and they're really political through the whole thing. Oh man, so I look at everything through the lens of being stoned and watching Vic Damone's and Vic Damone's hair and the monkeys dancing in Vic Damone's hair.
Oh, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, it's surreal. Seriously, movie night when everybody doesn't have, diseases or anything that might get me sick.
And you said there's some YouTube clips. If you remember, pass them along, and I'll add them into the show notes too for people.
Yeah,
but,
the Monkeys
that sounds
had
fun.
It's on YouTube. Seriously, I think you can find the whole damn movie on YouTube too.
Oh,
oh, that's great. I was thinking about this from my end, just to, because obviously I'm asking the question, so I might as well have something. And mine's a little odd.
You deserve an answer once in a while, Jet.
Yeah,
thank you. But one that was really big for me was the show was on Showtime, I believe. Penn and Teller's Bullshit.
Oh yeah,
and it's tricky. It's tricky to call it pop culture because it's just it's cable, and at that time, especially cable was less prominent than it is now.
Premium cable,
and so it's not that pop culture, and it's mostly a brilliant show because it absolutely did have a huge impact on the way I approached a lot of thought processes. The critical thinking of that show was incredible. The way it just made you look at things everybody accepts as true and question how much they really were. And there were a few things that I was already super familiar with, and a bunch of stuff I really, really wasn't. But it completely opened my mind to questioning everything to a degree that I hadn't realized.
I loved that show. My favorite segment was, I think it was on gourmet food. Or people who had to have the best of everything.
Yes.
That's what it was, the idea of the best.
Was it the water sommelier?
And they take this guy who describes himself as a foodie, and they take him to a fancy restaurant.
Yes.
But they have a special chef there who takes only ingredients from the 99-cent store.
Yes.
To make his food. Yeah. And then has them describe it to him in these absolutely true, but absolutely loving and flowery descriptors. And every time he's like, oh, it's like steakums. And he's like, what you telling his date? Oh, you just press it against the top of your mouth, and then you really can get the flavor out of it that way.
Yeah.
And just what a douche. It's such a good show.
I think it was that show that had the water sommelier as well. Basically they had all these very fancy waters that they were serving people, and with these fancy descriptions of where they got them in the world and how they were prepared. And it was literally a guy in the back with a hose off the back of the building, filling it from the tap. And so I love the show for so many of those things that really opened my eyes to a lot of ideas. And the reason I consider it all embarrassing was they also famously had an episode where they demonstrated that climate change is bullshit and we don't need to believe in it because the climate, has always changed throughout history and it's nothing. And so the show, because Penn Jillette has classically very well been known as a libertarian, you could tell that the Cato Institute was heavily in one of their big influences in their research, and occasionally they get things right. And occasionally like this, they are very biased. And they did eventually unfortunately not in the show, but outside of the show, they did admit that they got that episode wrong and apologized for that. But there were a few silly episodes, like one about dolphins and the fact that people love dolphins is bullshit. And it was little things like that. There's this is just you guys are stretching.
Of an opinion, really.
Yeah.
Right.
But come on, we were all fucking thinking it, okay? Those dolphins have gotten a free ride long enough. You know what they are? Shitty whales. I said it. I'm not afraid for having said it.
Flippers Nielsen ratings were always inflated. Let's be honest about that right off.
Yeah, true. Yes. Yeah. Mr. Ed
Up
was
next,
always
we're
the real deal.
debunking sweaters.
Bullshit had a pretty well viewed segment on vaccines 10 years ago.
Yes, I believe so.
And in what context did they refer to vaccines?
Yeah, this is taking a turn for me mentally right now.
I have come into something fascinating.
The effectiveness. Sorry, not not in their bullshit about their shitty views on climate change. Actually, because talking about how around 5-6 years ago we were having this argument about vaccines because of a measles outbreak. And that's really when that the crunchy anti-vax movement started, which was at the time really just a pretty niche group of far left people. I like
the idea of crunchy anti-vax.
Yes.
It's easily the worst cereal.
Yeah.
And it's made by Kellogg's.
Yeah. Not enough berries.
Yeah.
It's literally sickly sweet.
But that is the weird thing, us evolving, devolving in science to the point where my grandmother would be like, can you read some basic motherfucking science here? This is not. They were doing it in the 15th fucking century.
Yeah.
They stuck a needle in somebody with smallpox, but just a needle.
Yes.
Read a goddamn book, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're
sorry. None of those words were ever uttered by my grandma.
That was
I can't
word
let
for
it
word.
escape. Crunchy anti-vax. Oops, all comorbidities. You can edit that so it's back at the right time, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
love that conversations about editing.
That does remind me that we do have sponsors.
We do.
What do we have, Michael Heiman? Tell me.
We do have. We have an overall sponsor for this episode. Actually, this episode of Super Legit is brought to you by the Bits Commission. Bits, have some fun, even if it's just a little bit.
Oh, love it.
But we also have like a full-on ad. We have a few ads as usual, but we have Shawn Michael, you have an ad for us this evening.
Yeah, I got an ad last minute. I didn't even I wasn't really looking for this ad. They came to me. I was back home visiting my folks.
Can I just remind you are supposed to be looking for ads?
Wait, no, I was not looking for this particular ad.
Okay, and, all right, good.
Sounds like this one found you.
Just do your job. Thank you.
So I'm on it, totally all over it.
Cool. Jet getting a little bossy here.
I'm just setting the table to tell you guys that I have not listened to this yet, so I can't vouch for any of this, but it is what it is. Should I just pop the tape in?
Coming to all our virgin ears. Let's go.
A paid message from the Arizona Tourism Board. We're Arizona, and we're open. Listen, we all know we're a red state, and I mean a dyed in the red blood of white Jesus red state. But that doesn't mean we won't happily take your liberal tear-soaked dollars. Arizona depends on tourism because, frankly, we got nothing else to offer but to say, hey, we got stuff to see, and you probably got eyes, so come visit us, maybe? Arizona offers live vacationers and lefty sightseers the chance to see how real Americans live. Are you a fan of good old American history? U.S. history buffs come visit the furthest most western Civil War battlefield right here in Arizona, the Battle of Picacho Pass, which, for the record, was won by the Confederates. You can't miss the giant Confederate flag signpost at the turnoff, although you may get it mixed up with all the other Confederate flags, Confederate flag hats, Confederate flag bumper stickers, Confederate flag t-shirts, Confederate flag belt buckles, Confederate flag beer cozies, Confederate flag tattoos. You get the point. If you're a fan of more recent history / current events, we aren't still fighting the Civil War. We're also still recounting the 2020 election. Also under more recent history, come see the very spot in Phoenix where one of Arizona's most famous criminals, Ernesto Arturo Miranda, was arrested and whose coerced confession prompted the Supreme Court decision giving us Miranda rights. Then go see the spot where he was stabbed to death in a good old-fashioned Phoenix bar fight. Speaking of Phoenix, not into history and more of a big city guy? That's right, I said guy. Gender specific. I'm only talking to those with penises. You know, the ones who should make decisions like it says so in the Bible. Bros. We got all the big city you can want in Phoenix. Come see why Arizona ranked number 1 on the list of worst places to live in 2021 through all the big city magic of poor air quality, low public health funding, high crime rates, and a lack of inclusiveness. Speaking of health, wintertime got you down? Find it getting dark so early? What with the commie conspiracy daylight savings time hoax? Well, none of that here. Not that we in Arizona are into anything as metaphysical as feelings, but if you think you're suffering from seasonal depression disorder or any number of made-up socialist maladies, Phoenix isn't called the Valley of the Sun place for nothing. Soak up that wintertime sunshine, but careful not to get too brown or you just may get swept up in one of our famous citizens' arrests as a suspected illegal. Where self-appointed militia kidnap you right off the streets, bound and drag you to the Arizona-Mexico border. But please, don't get our all-white, pro-white militia confused with the Klan. The Klan does not exist in Arizona, mostly because the trees just don't grow big enough or strong enough to support a body. Hang somebody from a Palo Verde, their feet are touching. Try hanging somebody from a palm tree, you can't get them out far enough, they're holding on the trunk, you end up playing Tether Boy. Speaking of trees, do you love the splendor and mystery of nature? Arizona is home to the Grand Canyon, where you can see more than 1 billion years worth of rock exposed, which is a mystery since the world is only 6,000 years old. Arizona is also home to the world's largest and best preserved meteor crater. Because of Meteor Crater and the Grand Canyon, I mean, I get it, but please stop calling us the whole state. come visit all the history, the splendor, the magic, and the mystery that is the state of Arizona. Sure, here there is a ton of anger and hate, but hey, it's Arizona. It's a dry hate, so it's tolerable. Leave your mask at home, but be sure to bring your gun. We're Arizona, and we're open. Wide open. Wait, that's going to play right into the whole joke. Can we edit the last part out? Okay, again, I did not.
I have never ever wanted to go to Arizona more than I did a few seconds before that ad.
Yeah, and they just turned blue.
Yeah,
I don't think they realize that yet.
I think their tourism videos, they really stepped up their tourism outreach since Public Enemies by the time I get to Arizona.
Yeah.
Classic hip hop. As I said up front, I didn't check this out at all, but like
that's clear.
In the real-time fact checking, there are three things I feel like didn't work. Like number one, human emotions and feelings aren't metaphysical. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that daylight savings time is a communist hoax. And number three, they said Arizona is tolerable. I cannot find evidence of that anywhere on the internet as I was listening to this. So
I will say I found that ad to be deeply problematic, and I am offended that they referred to Phoenix as a big city.
Not the hanging from tree parts.
I've been to Arizona. I know that's all just fact based.
Yeah.
But
Phoenix is a big city by traffic metrics.
It does make me think that maybe Arizona is going to replace Ohio, a paradise for the incompetent, as our most hated state on this podcast.
It's good to shift around a little bit. Just spread the hate.
When we go back to bashing Ohio, it'd be like going home.
Wait till we get to Mississippi.
It's a dry hate. Yeah.
Well, someone do something about Indiana, so that would be Indianapolis specifically.
Their state motto is still, we call the dog Indiana.
That would be really brilliant marketing
to
tie that in.
Michael Heiman, I think you also brought us an advertiser this week.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You are the most consistent seller of advertising space. SMB, really pay attention to this man.
Well, thank you.
I'm watching him.
Like I've said before, I try to find things that overlooked products and things that maybe wouldn't normally get a fair shake on another reputable podcast, but for us, I think it's perfect. So
Fringe, we've called them,
yeah, Fringe,
Okay, I'm not offended by the fact that you referred to us as not reputable, but okay, all right, keep going.
Anyway, here's the ad. I'm just gonna click on it right here. Hey folks, have you wanted to go to a museum that highlights something you've never seen before? Well, come out to New England, Connecticut specifically, to Tourniqueticutt, the only museum dedicated to the classic field medic technique known as a tourniquet. Way back when in the colonies of America, when our country was first starting out, people died of blood loss all the time. And then, one magical day, a man named John Hodgman, a descendant of the current John Hodgman, decided to take a stick and some loose fabric on someone bleeding and dying and tie it around that wound to, quote, tourniqueticutt the blood and save their life. Come down to Tourniqueticutt, where you walk through the Hall of Elbows and see all the different ways elbows have killed people and tourniquets have saved them. You're going to walk through the museum never once asking yourself, what do you call that thing? Because tourniquets will be everywhere. The only museum in the upper 48 states dedicated solely to tourniquets and the state of Connecticut. You will feel yourself absolutely anemic with all the blood that you will see, consume, and have on you when you exit the museum. Don't forget to bring a poncho if you're a little squeamish. Tourniqueticutt, the best tourniquet focused museum in the upper 48.
Wow. I'm glad you had me pay special attention to that. That was bloody good.
Yeah. I will say also, I've actually been to that museum because my wife went to Connecticut College. So every 5 years we go for the reunion. Amazing. And the children's portion of that museum is so great. It's interactive. It's hands-on. They really let the kids get in there. They're putting tourniquets on each other. They've got neck tourniquets. There's like the blood pool where they can collect.
Could go wrong
hold on,
pretty quick.
Clarification: a neck tourniquet, isn't that called choking?
Yeah.
Well, not when it's a kid.
Yeah. Isn't that
not in the NYPD manual.
Also, I appreciate the truth in their wording very carefully. I will say the museum dedicated to tourniquets and Connecticut that's in Hawaii is a little bit better. Yeah,
I mean, isn't everything better in Hawaii?
Nothing is better than Hawaii.
Yeah,
I will say that right now, straight off.
I just want to say how refreshing it is to see a museum that's not under the thumb of Big Pharma. Who can really get with natural remedies that solve those problems, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a guinea pig for a technology that's only a couple 100 years old? No.
Right. Especially when Pfizer has their tourniquet pill. You just give to a recent
just down
amputee.
the street from that tourniquet museum, too, is the Gangrene Museum.
You know, they do a Christmas promotion together, I hear.
Yeah, it's the red and the green?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the white is the people of Connecticut.
I have a bit of an embarrassing pop culture moment. And it really defined me because it made me realize that, like, you can pack yourself in a box, but you're never going to stop being exactly who you are.
Like a cat.
So I'm in college, and there's this woman who I am interested in, who I have invited out to hang out with some of my friends. And it's like going to be her first time meeting my friends. And it's like all of my college relationships. We're not actually dating, but I'm interested in her and she's interested in me. And she knows I'm interested in her. And I have no idea that she thinks I exist. Right? So
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm here with you.
Yeah, I'm missing every single signal that she's giving me. So we get to my friend's apartment, and I did not know that my friends were planning on having a Red Dwarf marathon that night. So for those of you who don't know, Red Dwarf is a British sitcom. And it's about a guy who is flying through space, and he is part of like a janitorial crew. He's a very low-level guy on this spaceship, but he winds up being frozen in stasis. And then something happens on the ship, and he's thawed out millions of years later, and he's the one survivor of this ship because he's been in stasis this entire time. And his pet cat has now evolved to like this humanoid cat that can interact with him. And the most annoying person that was on the crew with him has been reincarnated as a hologram. So now he's flying through space, and he's having like these space hilarious British sitcom adventures. And for our female identifying members of the team,
is this live action?
No, this is live action.
Yeah. It sounds like Doctor Who, but not.
Yeah. Yes. For our female identifying listeners and members of the team, or anyone who's attracted to other people, you're thinking, wow, I've never been less sexually aroused than I am in this moment.
You said there was a cat.
Go on.
It's a really, really,
a guy
really
floating
fun.
In space.
It's a fun show, and it's hilarious. And I stand by it because I haven't seen it in at least 10 years. But I get there, and my friends are watching this, and everybody's super nerding out about it. And I'm trying to be like, play it cool, my man. Play it cool. Just pretend that you're like, hey, maybe, yeah, this is kind of fun, but hey, let's chat over here, and we'll have some drinks while these guys talk, and you and I will have conversation. And then one of my friends made the mistake of misquoting an episode. So I'm sitting over there having a drink in mid-conversation, and I can just feel it welling up. I can feel the, right there in that part of my throat. And I couldn't force it down. I could not force it down. And there are many reasons why that relationship wound up not progressing. But I feel like that was definitely one on that long list.
Wow.
But I was right, too. I should say that as well. I had it right.
Well, you have that.
I love that you pulled a victory out of that at the very end.
Of course. What is life except for, like, if you're happy right now, every loss that you had was actually a victory.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Relationships come and go. But my knowledge of a show that I then went on to not watch for 10 years, that's what lasts forever.
That is a forever thing. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, no, let's go in and I'll meet your kids. Like, I think we're ready for that stage.
You really think we are?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been burned too often. Just before you
Just cough it out. Just cough it out.
I'm good. All right. I just need to light another one.
Okay. All right.
Before you go on, I just got to ask you a couple of questions.
Shoot. Just
before you meet the kids.
Yeah.
Are you down with Elmo? You have to be, because that's all I watch anymore. My whole life is nothing but one ongoing Elmo.
I mean, Elmo, the Muppet, the Sesame Street Muppet we're talking about.
Yes. What other Elmo do you think I'm fucking talking about?
I want to make sure our terms are clear here, that we're talking about the same thing here. We're talking about
do you think I was fucking some guy named Elmo and I was like, oh, make sure you're okay with Elmo? Did you think that? Well, who do you think I am? Yes, I have kids by 2 different guys.
It would be embarrassing for me if I assumed you meant the little red furry guy, and I go in and in fact, like there's a guy in a gimp suit in there or something. You know, I don't know. I don't know what you're into yet.
Who the hell are you? Why would you think that? What gave you the impression I might have a gimp in a red suit in my house?
I didn't, to be clear, I didn't specify that the gimp was red. The red gimp could have been a black suit, a white suit. All right. I have to admit, this is actually kind of working for me, so.
All right. So just answer the fucking question, yes or no. Do you like Elmo?
I mean, people used to call me Mr. Noodle.
Okay.
This is good. Character on Elmo.
I know.
Okay.
But
all right.
Okay, nonetheless.
That's my way of saying to you, yes, I like Elmo.
Okay.
I can do this. I can get down with Elmo.
All
it's
right.
fine.
Let me just find my keys.
All right.
Wait, hold up. Rabbit keys. Oh, that's for the...
Mom, I could hear you out here.
Hey, I got my... I got my... Will you just let us in that goddamn house?
Yeah,
it's nice to meet you.
I was just watching Elmo.
You must be little Peter.
Well, he's not... I mean, he's 27, but, you know.
Okay.
I'm Peter. He's Michael.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
He's 30.
Named after the Saints, you dick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey.
Off to a bad start. I'm sorry. I don't know if I did anything to offend you two. I just, since your mom and I have been boning, I just wanted to get to know the two of you.
Hey, they're still too young to hear that. They don't want to imagine their mother having sex with someone else. Do you boys?
Mom!
God, gross.
See?
I mean, I honestly don't think I'm ever going to be old enough to hear that.
Yeah.
See?
But certainly not at 30.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, since your mom and I have been noodling.
Your name?
Oh, it's Roger.
Okay.
Huh.
So Roger
Komanichi.
Okay.
I'm hearing
Komanichi.
Yeah.
Komanichi.
You're Romanian?
Yeah, it's a family thing. I don't really follow the bloodline or anything, but yeah.
I thought I thought it was Bulgarian. You sure?
Honestly, I would have to check my 47andMe results.
Okay.
All right, so I heard you talking with our mom about how you think you're down with Elmo.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on Rocco?
When we say Rocco,
I'm just gonna interject really fast. This is a really touchy subject. We have guns in the house. Continue.
Oh boy!
Where do you stand on Rocco?
Let's just be sure we're talking about the little marsupial guy with the cow friend, right?
No.
What? No.
I'm talking about how Elmo's friend has a pet rock that everyone pretends is real, except Elmo is like, hey, it's a rock. Why are we treating this rock like it's a real person? But everybody continues to fucking gaslight Elmo until finally he rightfully loses his fucking shit and demands that people respect him.
So, hey, Peter, Michael, Mom, Bulgarian dude, me and Davey are trying to watch Elmo in here, so can we keep it down a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Mickey.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to...
Like the saint.
He's 20.
And I'm his friend, Davey.
Hey, Davey, how you doing? Hey, how's your mom doing?
But she's good. She just got out of rehab.
It's tough when you do
good
that much meth.
Yeah, she does a lot of meth.
That's hard to cook. To kick. It's hard to cook, too. It's both.
It's hard to cook and kick, it turns out. Anyway, Elmo's the only thing that brings me peace.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why Davey spends so much time here. Davey's like a member of the family.
That's right. They let me sleep in the closet.
It's a walk-in.
Yeah, they keeps it
still
clean.
pretty full of clothes.
This is a really giving family. I got to say, I'm so happy to meet you all, to be part of, and to answer your question, Peter. I feel like, reading the room and, really searching my heart. I got to say, I think Rocco has a real soul.
Oh, fuck you.
Yo, yeah, that is not at all.
I'm gonna kick this guy out of here.
Legit.
Dude, that scene really begs the question, whatever happened to Barney?
Who gives a fuck?
I think it just ended.
I guess he's dying.
I love
Burning
you.
in hell.
You love me. You freak.
I got a pretty good feeling that Jet's. This is the age difference between Jet's kids and my kids. Jet, you had to endure Barney, didn't you?
No. Thankfully,
Okay.
no. I think my daughter might have been just at the tail end of Barney, so I think she did watch just like a tiny little bit of it, but it was pretty much dead at that point. So thankfully, I dodged that bullet. Yeah. But hopefully Barney didn't.
That's the great thing about children's entertainment. There's always new bullets.
Well, Barney's on. I think it's on Netflix or it's on one of the streaming services.
Nothing's ever dead.
The catalog. Yeah.
There's so many terrifying kids like mascots like that they like pawn off as being good, but they're just terrifying. Like Teletubbies, awful. This huge thing with a television on its chest is supposed to be this comforting.
How were you with Gumby back in the day?
Oh yeah,
I remember. How did you feel about Gumby?
Or Captain Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo was so scary. And I hate to say it, I love Mr. Rogers, but I'm sorry, his puppets scared the living daylights out of me. The meow meow cat. The meow meow cat.
Terrifying.
I like cats, but meow meow this. I don't really talk meow meow.
That was before
English.
I had fast forwarding, but God, I would have fast forwarded through those if I could, because those were the worst parts of those episodes.
And don't get me started. One of my favorite children's things when I was younger, everything gave me nightmares. Everything I loved gave me nightmares. Good example, Willy Wonka.
Oh, sure. But that was intentional.
Would give you nightmares as an adult.
Wait, and this is, I love
that is Saw for children.
Exactly.
Oh my God, dude, you nailed it.
That is such a good, yes. But one of my favorite things I used to do, because I don't have children, not for lack of trying, of course, but I don't have children, but I have like 13 nieces and nephews. And when they were younger, I would babysit them, I'd put them to sleep, and I'd scare the crap out of them before they even saw it. I go, don't know which direction you are going. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a blowing? They're like, and now they like me still, and we go drinking.
He famously would not rehearse that in front of the kids. The very first time they saw it was on film when they did the take, because he wanted them to be terrified.
Yeah.
And it worked. It really worked.
And don't get me started about the backgrounds of chickens' heads being cut off. Yay. I
mean, that is a movie in which a contest is held in which 7 children are murdered. And then the one child who wins the prize of living and getting out of a slightly less elder abusing home with his grandfather.
It truly is the horror structure. You're absolutely right.
Seriously, it's the song.
He gets to take over as the guy who runs the murder factory.
It's like the Hunger Games in one movie.
Yeah, it's like apt pupil.
That is so dead on.
Absolutely true. Another one that scared me when I was a kid, that is a kid's movie, Christmas movies, any Rankin and Bass movie.
Oh, yeah.
Any Rankin and Bass.
Stuff.
Yeah. The line between Rankin and Bass and Hellraiser is very small.
Exactly. You're just nailing this, man. But yeah, the A Year Without a Santa Claus is the one that has Mickey Rooney as Santa. And Heat Miser and Gold Christmas.
Miser.
Mr. 101.
Friends call me. Yeah. But that's actually a cool part, but it's that white Christmas dude. He gets on the ice, and he goes, and he spins around in his little minion, I guess from his loin guys who are dancing, and he's spinning around. You gotta rewatch it. He's spinning around, then his body his head stops, but his body keeps spinning.
Oh, Exorcist style.
It's absolute. It's like, wow, this is a Christmas movie, and then they're fighting Mother Nature as a bitch. I'm just wow.
Mother Nature is a bitch.
You know, it's funny.
Mother
it's like
Nature,
little things
she's
like
a bitch.
that because I still love Dick Van Dyke as a person and a performer. And I love the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I was absolutely terrified of the child stealer. Like, dude, it was like when he pokes his head down in there, like at that surprise jump thing. God, it was terrifying. And as a child, I could not watch it. I would have to turn away from the TV and shove my little face in the couch when
Benny
when
Hill could do nothing to save that movie from being frightening. Benny Hill could not do a god. Every time when I look at Hans, my husband, who looks like Benny Hill, I go, you saved that movie.
That is the only time I've heard you say something unkind about Hans.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Or kind about Benny Hill.
Really? You never heard me say that he's the most translucent man I've ever met in my entire life. I married the most translucent man on the face of the planet.
That could be a positive quality.
You married Slim Goodbody?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Talking about other creepy characters.
Yeah. Compton, you have more pigmentation than Hans. You're pretty damn white.
Yeah, if you can't see me, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see me because the light is reflecting off my body and blinding you.
Well, no one can see you because, again, this is an audio medium.
Yeah.
Exactly. We call it a podcast, but back in the day, it used to be called radio.
Right, yeah. Before that, it was called shouting.
Oh, anybody else got any of those pop culture bits?
I'll say this comes from when I was younger. Almost every decision I made in my life was based on whether or not I would get a good story out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this extended to me graduating from college. My thesis was a 120-page screenplay about the Harlem Globetrotters. And I did this expressly so that at some point in my life, I could meet someone from the Harlem Globetrotters and say, hey, man, you guys are the reason I graduated from college, and then walk away and never explain it.
Just walk up to Meadowlark Lemon and go, man.
Just and then now you figure it out. So yeah, like a lot of my life has been defined by just like, there's got to be some way to make that
inexplicable
to jump in with this weird piece of pop culture and make it a story.
Your thesis is so much better than mine because I wanted to just freak everybody out at the school I went to. I went to Kenwood Academy in Chicago, and I wanted to freak everybody out because everyone was doing all these very important pieces of meaning or very wacky or zany stuff. I went in the completely opposite direction. I had just read and just saw Triumph of the Will, or actually, no, Leni Riefenstahl's movie.
It's Triumph of the Will.
Yeah, it's Triumph of the Will. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do an entire dissertation on World War II with a thrust on Leni Riefenstahl. And I turned this thing in. I graduated early. I got high grades on it, but I got a note on it, which is, be happier.
That note was both to you and Leni Riefenstahl.
Right, Leni Riefenstahl lived to a gazillion years old. After she was, after she stopped being a fascist and outward fascist, she decided to go underwater and just annoy fish. She was the oldest scuba diver in scuba diving history before she passed away.
Wow.
And her life is absolutely fascinating and horrible. Actually, there's a movie that whoever would like to watch is The Horrible, Wonderful Life of Leni Riefenstahl.
Mm.
And
that was your backup script, wasn't it, Compton?
Yeah. She plays and beats the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's the sequel. to both of those films.
Because the game is underwater.
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
Super.
Mr. Herzog, can you come into the counselor's office, please? Werner? Please?
Of course. Here I am.
Thank you. Just have a seat right there.
Thank you. This chair is so uncomfortable.
The budget cuts, of course. We've had that one for quite some time. It's been reupholstered countless times at this point. But hopefully the budget kicks in soon. We can get it replaced. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
Why do you bring Werner into your office? What do you want to talk about?
Well, your media professor had some concerns about a report you turned in.
My report.
Yes, the report on the Teletubbies.
That's right. Sadness, heartbreak, and the misery of 4 colorful aliens.
Yes, that's the one.
The story of the Teletubbies.
Yeah, and
yes.
And the thing is that the subject, really, the thrust of this was about the positive power of television to educate children and uplift them. And we don't feel
I think sadness is uplifting if you put it through the proper lens. The tears come out of your face. Tension is relieved. You have a brief moment of what I call a lack of sadness. And then some people might call that happy, but I call it just a lack of sadness. It's more like a muted, it's like the color gray if it was a feeling. That is what I feel after I cry. Anyway, it's all in my report.
I know. I did read it.
Yes. Yeah. On page 426, I go into.
Vernie, we want to talk to you about the book report that you turned.
Yeah, you did not have a good grade.
Oh.
Yeah, the one you did on the Care Bears' Big Adventure.
Yes, the Care Bears' Big Adventure. When they.
What is this about Care Bears not being happy?
They aren't happy, Mummy. They are so sad inside. They care about bears. Bears are killing machines, and they care about them. It is a recipe for heartbreak, Mother.
Not these bears. These bears have icons on their tummies, and they shoot beams out of them to stop evil.
Yes, I know, for death.
So I just got this book report on the tragedy of Oscar the Grouch in the can. So
yes,
why to me, and all over it says "Ich liebe dir," but I don't see a lot of love here. That's the only words I know in German, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what they mean.
Yeah, "Ich liebe dir" is "I love you."
Well, out of all of my reports, this one should make the most sense because it is a grouch, someone who is very honest about their negativity, and they have chosen to live in a can away from others to keep their negativity inside the can. And that is where the love is. The love for humanity is keeping oneself in one's own trash, emotional trash.
So when we asked you to write a review of the spring musical for the school newspaper, we just needed you to say the date, what time it was playing, and just an overall, like, how good it is.
That's right. February 12th, the saddest day of the year, at 8:30 p.m., the time of misery.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Everyone knows this.
Here's the thing. You titled it Annie, There Is No Tomorrow for Any of Us.
That's
right. The musical is Annie, and the big song is Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. And that's an ironic song because there is no tomorrow. You have missed the whole point of that song because...
Look, I told you guys, if you couldn't help us come up with a better slogan than "Have It Your Way," I was going to bring in the big guns. Mr. Herzog, you still on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me. I enjoy your burgers only sometimes.
Hey, that's the best we can ask for. This is incredible. Do you have just something? I feel like "Have It Your Way" leaves open a lot of room for interpretation.
Yes.
What would the brilliant mind of Werner Herzog have in the books for Burger King?
Well, I would say that the simplest, most easy solution for what you are trying to say is have it your way, which is no way, because we are all doomed. And that's what I would put on your burger wrappers. And that way you are making the promise, but also embracing the reality of death and destruction.
That is amazing. People are being given a choice, like have a burger, or you might as well just go put yourself in a neck tournament.
Yeah, nobody's going to try to order world peace with that slogan.
No.
You're damn right.
If they do, have them give me a call, and I will convince them that world peace is not, nobody should want that. It's very dull.
So we can't give out your number?
Hey guys, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I need to leave because my dead father is going to be showing up, and he's just making sure that he's angry because we solved pretty much world peace and everything is pretty much despair. Can I just do that for a moment?
No, it's okay. I've been listening the whole time.
Oh, that's right. You're a ghost.
Remember how you kept remarking upon my body?
Yeah.
It appears that lookism still exists. I win!
Legit. And I think
Shaun, thanks for coming.
With the relief that isms still exist, we can wrap it up.
I'm glad I came too. I liked at the end of everything. It was pretty much Burger King in Germany.
Yes, so it should be.
As it always should be.
Shaun,
should Josh start recording yet? Or should I call him?
We have a few more bits to get out here.
Shaun,
Heiman, you want to handle those
for our listeners? All of them. Can you just give us a recap and summation of the Ledge and what we can look forward to with the Ledge?
The Ledge Theater is a theater that is run by African Americans, started by an African American woman, that deals with theater, improvisation, comedy, specifically of diverse voices. And we are officially at the Lyric Hyperion. And we have our fundraising and our grand opening with a bunch of great ensembles that are people of color and the LGBTQIA plus community. Leon Acord, who wrote a book called Sub-Liberty. Amanda Gary, who is actually Eddie Cantor's granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. The name of her show is called Banjo Eyes with Mascara because Cantor had banjo eyes. And all this happens at the Lyric Hyperion. And if you want to get more information, you can get onto ledgetheater.com, spelled RE.com. A new website's happening literally as we speak. Mr. I'm on the board. James is being populated right now, but it will take you to our Facebook page that has all the information. So
fantastic.
Please support, we talk about diverse voices and, giving voice and power to people of color and POC in general. So put your talk the talk and donate the donate.
Absolutely.
Pay the pay. Make it happen.
Thank you,
and
Shaun.
people can buy tickets to the fundraiser. They can see it online. They can donate all from...
Exactly. And if you get on to literally ledgetheater.com, it'll take you to Better World, which is where you can go. We have our donations up. We have amazing auction items that we're giving. I mean, you can see Hamilton. You can go and see a baseball game when it happens. Go see the World Series
while watching Hamilton.
If you're a big wino like me,
you can watch the cast of Hamilton play baseball.
Exactly.
I'd pay to see that.
They'll do that for you. They'll do it in the field where it happens. The field where it happens.
Yes.
But there's wine tastings. There's private comedy shows that you can go and donate to, and that money goes directly to the Ledge Theater. We are 501c3, so if you want to write that shit off, as we do.
Mm-hmm.
For all of our billionaire listeners, write it off.
So if anyone knows Stephen Colbert, will you tell that man to please give me some money?
Yes.
God damn him.
All right. Let's bring it home, Michael Heiman.
Yeah, thank you, Shaun Landry, our very special guest, and for helping us, or for sharing more about the Ledge Theater with us and our listeners. As always, thank you to Matt Walker for our intro and outro music. This episode was hosted and edited by Jeff Kaufman, co-hosted by me, Michael Heiman, and features the talents of Jen Burton, Chris Compton, Sean Michael Boozer, Stephen C. James, and Chris Sanders. Every scene you heard today was improvised on the spot, along with some of the ads, with only a light touch of editing for your comfort, as always. Check your show notes for occasional random credits. And if you're loving what we're doing, you can love what you're doing too. Be sure to write a 5-star review at your podcast provider choice and tell a friend about us, because podcasts are more fun with friends.
Well, thank you all for joining me again this week. Thank you, Shaun, for joining us all this week. And I think that just about wraps it up. I feel like there's something missing, though, without Josh here. So what do we do, guys? How do we start this show?
I guess we just say, hey, let's not record this one.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
Throw the trash.
Because that was really a long waste of my time.
I don't believe anything's on. Oh, my time. I kicked the door on its hinges just so I could move on. Oh, oh,
Yes. Yeah. And that was just like, that's a great example to me of television done well and television that uses diversity well. I mean, not to suggest that there's a poor way, but the point is you can tell a great story.
Sure.
You don't have
to go on Candy Coat that.
To the secret files of Desmond P. Pfeiffer. Or the Homeboys in Outer Space.
Oh my god! I had a friend who was in Homeboys in Outer Space.
Did anyone learn any lessons from that? Because that sounded like the kind of thing that could have been in that section of our question.
Homeboys in Outer Space was basically, the lesson I learned was, if you get a gig as an actor and you see Homeboys in Outer Space and you read the first 5 minutes, run backwards.
Nobody should be that desperate.
If you get Homeboys in Outer, you should be running backwards at Outer. You shouldn't even get to space.
I feel like Homeboys is already a red flag for the starting point, but maybe the next word could redeem it.
Right.
Yeah.
If the writer looks like he's just been in a New Balance print ad, and the first line of the title is Homeboys, you got to be like, I don't know if this is your story.
I think when I was in college when that came out, and I had a friend who said that he was disappointed by it. And I was like, dude, you can not like it, but disappointed is your fault.